study these technical things.
No, we are also asking questions.
That's right. You have to turn it on. Okay. I'll start the kirtan. We'll have 2 minutes kirtan. Okay, quick. Sorry for being late. So we'll sing Jai Radha Madhav, and you all can repeat. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Everybody, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Everybody from the heart, share the loudly. Girivardhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vrajjananjana Yashodanandana Vrajjananjana Brahmadira Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. One last time, all together, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. योग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
नमो विष्णुपादाय
नमो विष्णुपादाय
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त
श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामी इति नामिने
स्वामिनिति नामिने
नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे
नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी
पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
नमो महावदान्याय
नमो महावदान्याय
कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते
कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य
नाम्ने गौरत्वसे नमः।
नाम्ने गौरत्वे नमः।
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो
दीनबंधो जगत्पते
दीनबन्धो जगत्पते
गोपेश गोपिका कांत
गोपेश गोपिकान्त
राधा कांत नमोस्तुते
राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते
तप्त कांचन गौरांगी
तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी
राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी
राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी
वृषभानुसुते देवी
वृषभानुसुते देवी
प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये
प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद
प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद
श्रीवासादि गौर
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langhayate girim, Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam, Paramanandha Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody to the level 2 session. So today's topic is really amazing, which is the yoga ladder. Today will be a little faster because the time is already, a lot of time has passed. So today we'll discuss about, first of all, what is yoga and why are we talking about yoga ladder, right? So we'll discuss about yoga ladder also in detail. Okay. So this presentation is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy we all are able to understand what is yoga. If somebody is not able to understand today, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, maybe we may understand. So let's be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and let's begin today's session. First of all, let's discuss about, or let's start with a question, and I'll open the forum to you. What comes to your mind when you think about yoga? This word yoga. What comes to your mind?
Summation.
Summation. Summation? Okay, summation. Summation of what?
Because it is yoga. Yoga means sum.
Yoga means sum. Okay. Any other answer? That's
Connection of the body and soul.
connection of the body and soul. Okay. Okay. Considerable.
Breathing exercises and body awareness.
Breathing exercise and body awareness. What do you mean body awareness?
So it involves like it's not the usual sets of exercises that are part of yoga. So you get to aware, you are more aware about different parts of your body.
Different
More
parts of
control.
Okay, more control.
Right, right.
Okay. Okay. Any other answer?
Meditation.
Meditation. What kind of meditation? When we talk about yoga.
Concentrating on like calming down.
Calming down. Okay. 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 Consider. Any other last answer? आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? Any other last answer?
Controlling mind also.
Controlling mind. Okay. Okay. Great. One last answer.
Controlling chakra.
Controlling chakras. Okay. Great. Another spice is added. Great. You have considered. You have covered so many aspects: mind and chakras, and then awareness of the body, and then obviously connecting the body and the soul. Right? So, yeah. So that's correct. But there's a little higher understanding of yoga. So yoga means, this word yoga means to connect, first of all, as Prabhu mentioned, to connect. But on a higher level, on a higher understanding, the yoga means to connect the soul with the super soul. Okay. So yoga has nothing to do with the body or material body or material domain. Yoga is always on the spiritual platform. When we say spiritual platform, there are two entities there. One is soul. Soul is spiritual, and another one is super soul. Super soul is also spiritual, right? The Paramatma, the Lord, God, He is super soul. And who is soul? We the living entities. We are soul. So both are spiritual. So when we talk about yoga, it's always spiritual. There's nothing material in it. Yeah. So when we talk about this, nowadays many people use this word yoga to they teach so many exercises and asanas and pranayams and so many things. But the whole aim there is to maybe controlling the mind or maybe making the body better, right? Improving the health. If somebody degrades in his health, so he goes and performs yoga. He joins the yoga classes. So that word, which people are using these days in the world, the yoga has a very what to say shallow meaning. But actually, the yoga is on the spiritual platform. It is to connect. The actual meaning is connect, the root meaning. But connect what? Connect what with what? Right? There should be two things which should be connected. So connection between soul and super soul. Oh, that's yoga. It's clear, right? So that's yoga. And now we'll start with different kinds of yoga. Now we understood connecting soul with super soul. Now different ways to connect the soul with super soul we'll understand now. Okay, in this session in detail. So different kinds of yoga. You can note it down. This session is very comprehensive, very technical also. So when you note down, you'll be able to go back and see, and you'll be able to relate also. Otherwise, relations will not form. Links will not form. If your mind is very nice, your memory power is good, your insight is good, that's okay. Depends on you. So, different kinds of yoga. First is Karma Yoga, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, by the way. It's all from Bhagavad Gita. Then we have Jnana Yoga, or Jnana Yoga, we say. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Then we have Dhyana Yoga. Or it's also called Ashtanga Yoga, right? Ashtanga Yoga, you must have heard. And then finally we have Bhakti Yoga. So these are the 4 different kinds of yoga, broadly, which are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita and all other scriptures. Okay. Now we'll discuss all these in great detail in the next few slides. Before discussing those, we have to build our foundation for understanding these systems of yoga, or different kinds of yoga, or yoga systems we call them. And these are systems of yoga, or yoga systems. Before understanding this we will build our foundation. First of all, we'll discuss about different kinds of destinations, okay, which we can attain, okay, in our by our activities. So there is something called purusharthas, purushartha, okay. So there are 5 purusharthas which are mentioned in the scriptures. So let's see what are those. First is dharma. You must have heard this. Dharma. Then what is next? Dharma. Then artha, kama, moksha, right? There is one more actually, the 5th one, which is called Pancham Purushartha, and that is called Krishna Prem. So this is all from scriptures. So these are the Purusharthas which which we can actually go through: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and Krishna Prem. Okay. Let's discuss in a few more slides about all these 5 Purusharthas. Have you noted down? Can we move on? Okay. So when we talk about the first 3, Dharma, Artha, and Kama, it is linked to this material world. So whenever one wants to enjoy in this material world, a person goes through these three Purusharthas, or he can attain these 3: Dharma, Artha, and Kama, max to max. If he wants to remain in this bhautik jagat, the material world, so he can either he can go through all these Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, and Kama, max to max. Only these 3. Moksha is not available in this material world. Okay. So when you talk about dharma means following the religious principles, or following the prescribed duties which are mentioned in the scriptures, or acting according to the scriptures. When we follow the scriptures or act according to the scriptures, that's called dharma. When we act against the scriptures, that's called adharma. Very clear, very simple, to be in simple words. So that's dharma, to follow the scriptures and act accordingly. Clear? Now, when one performs dharma, when one follows the scriptures and acts accordingly, one attains, or one, what to say, he attains artha, or he generates artha, right? And with he will be able to satisfy his kama. Kama means desires, material desires. So that's how these are in sequence. Dharma, artha, and kama. Kama means material desires, or whatever desires one has to enjoy in this material world. That's called kama. Okay. So one fulfills his desires through artha and dharma. Yeah. Dharma produces artha, and through artha he actually satisfies his material desires, or kama one, or uh, the vasanas one has, or the desires one has, right? So he fulfills. That's called kama. Material desires in one sense, to put it in simple words. Okay. Now one wants to remain in this material world, he will just go through all these three: dharma, artha, and kama. Now, if a person realizes that just by doing dharma, artha, and kama, I will just remain in this material world, and all this is temporary. Whatever I obtained or whatever enjoyment I get in this material world, the kama, the desires which I fulfill, those are all temporary. When one gets this realization that everything is temporary in this material world, let me attain liberation. Let me get out of this material world. Yeah. So when one gets this desire of liberation from this material world, understanding that everything is temporary here. What will I do if I fulfill some material desires? They're all temporary. If I earn so much of money, it's all temporary. If I eat something, I get so little pleasure, but that will also go away after some time. Everything is temporary. So let me get out of this material world. There are so many sufferings here because when we fulfill our material desires, we get attached to the results of our activities. Then if we lose those things or lose someone or something, oh, there will be so much of pain and sufferings, right? So if we get into this cycle, it will be so painful. Sufferings will be there. So one gets this desire of liberation from this material world, and that's called moksha. Many people say that I'm frustrated, I'm just fed up with my wife or with my boss. I just want to attain liberation. They don't know. They don't understand the level of liberation actually. But so those people actually talk about moksha. Many people actually talk about moksha, but that's very very high. It's not a child's play. It's based on realization, by the way. So getting out of this material world and going into the spiritual realm, entering the spiritual realm, that's called moksha or liberation. Now there is fifth pancham purushartha. We are discussing the five purushartha and the destinations. So the pancham purushartha is Krishna prem, and that's called love of Godhead. Right? Love of Godhead. When one attains this, even while remaining in this material world, he will not be influenced by the material world. He will be so happy, so blissful, you know, and automatically liberation will come on his door. The liberation will also knock the door. He doesn't have to perform anything else to attain liberation. Krishna Prem is a kind of package which has liberation, which has everything in it. So that is Pancha Purushartha, or entering into the spiritual world. And that's like at the time of death, the soul leaves the body and the soul actually goes back to the spiritual world. You know. And what happens when the soul is inside the body or during the lifetime when I'm living in this material world? Oh, that time also, if one attains Krishna Prem or love of Godhead, that person will be really, really blissful. And he'll not be attached to anything in this material world. So basically, he's already in the spiritual world on the level of consciousness. The consciousness will be so high, or at that level, where that will be always be on the spiritual platform, even though he is inside the material body, right? And many times it happens that the body is also spiritualized. That happens. It happens with the pure devotees. So that is Krishna Prem or Pancha Purushartha, love of Godhead. That's filled with Sat Chit and Ananda, all bliss, all knowledge, and eternity. Now, we have understood the Pancha Purushartha, five Purusharthas, and what kind of destination one gets. So, when one performs the first three, Dharma, Artha, Kam, he'll remain in this material world happily. And then, when one attains liberation, then one will go to Brahma Jyoti, right? When one attains Krishna Prem or love of Godhead, one will actually enter into the spiritual planets in the spiritual world. Now, this is the difference between the five Purusharthas and the destinations. Right? Clear? Everything is clear? Here till here? Simple, right? Now, let's talk about Vedic culture. We are building the foundation, by the way, for the yoga systems. So we discussed about different kinds of destinations we have available to us according to the five Purusharthas. Now we'll discuss about something about Vedic culture. That will also build a foundation for understanding the different yoga systems. Okay. So final aim is to understand yoga systems. But there's a foundation for that. Okay. Now let's talk about the Vedic culture a little bit. Vedic culture, when we talk about Vedic culture, there are some aspects related to it. First aspect is there should be no sinful life. If one is acting on the sinful platform, let's say, so what is sin basically? There's a very simple definition of sin. Sin means acting against scriptures. That's sin. So there are different levels of definitions of sin. This word sin. The highest definition is acting against the scriptures. Oh, that is sin. If you come a little lower, so there are 4 activities. If you perform those 4 activities, that's sin. Sinful life. So what are those 4 activities of sinful life? Yeah. Intoxication, meat eating, gambling, and illicit sex. So these are the 4 activities. If you perform those 4 activities, then a person is doing sin. He's a sinful person. But higher definition is acting against the scriptures. That is called sinful life. That's the highest definition of sin. And sinful life is very, very detrimental to spiritual progress. If one performs sinful life, it's very difficult to progress in the path of spirituality actually. It cannot happen that one is performing sinful activities and at the same time one is progressing in spiritual life. Oh, it cannot happen. Either it will degrade or it will progress in spiritual life. Both cannot go hand in hand or hand in hand. So we need to understand this, that if one performs sinful life or sinful activities, there's no chance to progress in spiritual life. Okay? So both cannot go hand in hand. This is about sin actually, sinful action. That when we talk about Vedic culture, there should be no sinful life. That's the first aspect of Vedic culture or the Vedic realm. Okay. Second aspect of Vedic culture is I will ask all these things. Okay, in between or at the end. Second aspect of Vedic culture is Varnashrama Dharma. If Varnashrama Dharma is followed or Varnashrama system is followed, well, then we can call that society or call that setup as Vedic. Otherwise, if Varnashrama Dharma is not followed, it's not Vedic culture. Very simple. This is the second aspect of Vedic culture. Okay. Now, what is Varnashrama Dharma? We have already discussed. In a brief, we'll discuss from Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, verse number 13. Let's recite this. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. Just 1 minute. I'll just check whether the live is happening or not. Yes. It's good. Cool. Yeah, so we are discussing the Vedic culture. First aspect was no sinful life, and second aspect is Varnashrama Dharma. So now we have recited a shloka from 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 13. So what does this shloka tell? Krishna is saying, the Lord is saying, according to the 3 modes of material nature. What are the 3 modes of material nature, by the way? 3 modes? Sattva, Raja, Tama. Or Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. In English, it is mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So these are the 3 modes. Now, what Krishna is saying, according to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with those 3 modes, basically the 3 modes push a person to do some activities. If a person is in mode of goodness, he'll be doing, he'll be feeling to read. He'll be feeling to do some charity. He'll be feeling to acquire knowledge, and then the mind will be peaceful, right? He'll be calm and composed. So these will be the symptoms and activities of a person in mode of goodness. Similarly, in mode of passion, a person will be lusty, greedy, too much ambitious. He may not be able to fulfill all the desires, but he's so much ambitious that I want to do this also, that also, this also, that also, that also. He'll not be able to perform or even fulfill all those desires. That's passion. So, and ignorance is laziness, sleep, procrastination, delaying the things. So, according to these 3 modes, the 3 modes push a person, and some activities are performed, basically. So now, what Krishna is saying, so when 3 modes are there, and the influence of 3 modes is there, and the 3 modes are pushing a person to do some work according to the modes, whichever mode he is in right at that particular time, or at that particular what to say, uh, state of existence. So the four divisions of human society are created by me, the Lord is saying. According to the three modes of material nature a person is in, whichever mode he is in, or whatever work he is doing. Obviously, that will be according to the modes. The four divisions of the society has been created, and scientific. It's a scientific categorization of society. So those are called varnas, four varnas. So what are we discussing? Varna ashrama, right? It has two aspects, varna and ashrama. So now Krishna is discussing about four varnas. Now we'll discuss about ashramas also. Four ashramas. There are four varnas and four ashramas. What are the four varnas? We'll discuss in the next verse. I think portal has come through. Can you check outside? Prasad. Yeah. So, what are those four varnas Krishna is talking about in the next verse? One of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, verse number 41. Let's recite this. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudranam cha parantapa Karmani prabhibhaktani Swabhava prabhavair gunai. Again, Krishna is saying that Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, okay, distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the modes. Basically, a person, a soul, basically, when he is in a particular body, he is acting under the influence of the three modes, and he's doing some activities. Again, according to the activities, he's again getting influenced by the three modes in the future. And like that, every moment a person is under the influence of the three modes. And from many lifetimes, one is acting under the modes of material nature, the three modes, under the influence of the three modes, and he is acquiring a nature. So many species of life, so many bodies the soul has got, and he has acted in different ways. So that particular person has attained a particular nature. It's like a cumulative of so many activities performed in so many lifetimes, in the previous lifetimes, and in this lifetime also we have performed, in 25 years, 26 years, 30 years, whatever. We have performed so many activities. Every moment we are performing some activity, or thinking something, desiring something, performing some activity according to the three modes, under the influence of three modes. So in so many lifetimes, and in this lifetime also, so many activities have been performed, and we have acquired a nature right now. Everybody has a nature now, right? A particular unique nature. So according to that nature, these are the four categories. So now it's scientific. So this is a scientific categorization of the society. And you will see everywhere, wherever you will find these four different types of people. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It's not a caste system. It's a scientific categorization of people according to their natures. Some people, so we'll discuss about the nature, different symptoms or kindness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty. You can just note down the verse number, you'll not be able to note down everything. Knowledge, wisdom, religiousness, all these are the natural qualities by which Brahmanas work. Now you understood, right? It's not a caste system. It's a nature a person has. These are the qualities a person has. If a person has these qualities, oh, he can be called a Brahmana. It doesn't matter one is born in a Brahmana family. Some people claim, see, I'm born in Brahmana family, I'm a Brahman. No, sorry. We can actually deny that. If a person doesn't have all these qualities, he cannot be called a Brahman. Doesn't matter which family a person is born in. Chaturvedi, Dvivedi, Trivedi, doesn't matter. If he doesn't have these qualities, he cannot be called a Brahmana. So it is according to qualities one person has. It's not according to birth. Very clear. Now, second category of people in this world, that is Kshatriyas. the next verse in Bhagavad Gita, 18.43, 18 chapter verse number 43. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. If a person doesn't have these qualities, oh, he cannot be called a Kshatriya. If a person is sent to battlefield and and if his pants become wet, oh, he cannot be called a Kshatriya by the way. Kshatriya has this natural quality of courage in the battle, determination, that if I go, either will win or will die, will not lose. There's no question of losing in the battle. Battle means, and if someone challenges, oh, then we have to accept the challenge. We cannot reject. Then we cannot call it Kshatriya. And in the battle, either the Kshatriya will win or he will die. There's no question of losing. That's the that's one of the aspects of Kshatriya: heroism, determination, and generosity, leadership. So these are qualities of Kshatriya. Again, some people claim I'm a Kshatriya, but whenever some critical situation comes, oh, they run away. So we cannot call. Now you can judge yourself. It's our own self. You cannot judge others. Obviously, you should not judge others. It's for us, for our own self, that according to these qualities, where am I fitting? Which category? I talks about the qualities of Vaishya and the Shudras both. Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas. Right? So you'll find so many people. They'll be doing business, so business minded, right? So naturally, the blood is into business. The whole mindset is into business. They cannot do anything else. Telling, I cannot do job now. I just want to do business. from the engineering, he was clear. So, but others, many people cannot do that because they don't have that mindset. Business mindset is not. That's why you see many people who are trying, they are utterly failing also. Why so many failures are there? Because business quality is not there. The quality should be there obviously, and karma also. Karma also is one of the aspects. But by the way, in the Vedic culture, by the way, this is missing now. Farming and cow protection. That was the natural work for Vaishyas in the Vedic culture. That is missing now. Right? Farming and cow protection. Now the farmers are protesting, dharnas, blocking the highways, blocking the railways. Someday will come, they'll block the airways also. So farmers are protesting. It's such a degraded situation actually. People are moving to the cities. Nobody is concerned about what will happen in the future. Right? Farm communities are dying. People are using chemicals just to produce high yield. So many things are happening these days. Where's the question of cow protection? I don't know. One of our teachers was saying actually, it's an eye opener. So much of paneer is available in the market, but where are cows? Cows are not there in the society. There's no cow protection going on. Cows being killed. But so much of paneer is coming. Every restaurant there is paneer. Every house there is paneer. From where the paneer is coming? From where the milk is coming? Question mark. It's a nice question to think about. If cows are not there, sufficient cows, from where the milk is coming? So, so we need to have raids in the paneer factories. From where the paneer is coming? So it's very nice thought process actually. And then the Shudras. These are there are labor and service. Okay. For the Shudras, there are labor and service to others. To the other three categories, the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, the Shudras they have this quality of rendering service to the other four categories of people. If they're rendering service to others, well, that's Shudras. So these are the four categories. Very scientific. Now we can decide where are you fitting from Bhagavad Gita. Where is now anywhere did you find that according to birth, a person who is born in the Brahmana family is a Brahman? Anywhere it's written in Bhagavad Gita? No. Nowhere. It's all qualities and the nature a person has. According to that, person can decide, okay, where am I fitting? It's so scientific actually, and the nature can change also. In the future, maybe obviously it's not easy. It's not easy to shift from Brahmana mindset to Kshatriya to Brahmana. Very difficult actually. It takes lifetimes altogether to actually change the nature. So it's not easy. Lifetimes together it takes to change the nature of a person, to come to Brahminical platform, or or to change the nature anyway, to degrade also to go up. So, so that's how it's all according to nature and quality, right? It's not according to birth. So that's why it is scientific. But many people who don't read Bhagavad Gita, they say caste system, हटाओ इसको सब हमें divide कर रहे हैं. They're dividing the society. It's not division of society, it's categorization of society. So we need to understand. Have you understood this? Right? Is it eye opener for you? Right? Yeah. Now we have discussed about we were discussing about Vedic culture. First aspect of Vedic culture was no sinful life. Second aspect is Varnashrama is followed. Okay. Third aspect of Varnashrama, Vedic culture. Vedic culture is there are some 30 duties which are mentioned in the scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam it comes, by the way. So those 30 duties are mentioned. If one performs these 30 duties, he is under Vedic realm. Otherwise, out of the Vedic realm, Vedic domain. What are those 30 duties? Or 30 qualities or duties we can say. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 11th chapter, verse number 8 to 12. These 5 verses talk about these 30 duties, Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto. These 5 duties, these 30 duties are, let's go through these. Truthfulness, mercy, austerity. It includes observing fasts on certain days of the month. Right? Bathing twice a day. Tolerance. Discrimination between right and wrong. Control of the mind, control of the senses. Non-violence. Celibacy. Charity. Can I go to the next one? Reading of scriptures. Simplicity. Satisfaction. Rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements like politics, sociology, this logy, that logy, news. Gradually, observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society. This also talks about, it includes all these things. Unnecessarily wasting our time in unnecessary temporary activities, which will not give us perfection in human life. Remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk. Very difficult. Considering whether one is body or the soul, having this realization, at least contemplating it. Okay, one doesn't have realization right now, no problem. But at least aspiring to get that realization, that I want to realize the Lord, that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. Aspiring at least, desiring for this realization, that I'm separate from the body. I'm something different from the body. I'm spiritual. To have that real desire and realization. So that's one of the aspects or duties mentioned in the scriptures. Everybody should have. Distributing food equally to all the living entities and animals. Seeing every soul as a part of the Supreme Lord. Seeing divinity everywhere, basically. Hearing about the activities and instructions of the Lord, or Supreme Lord. Hearing, chanting His glories. Chanting about these activities and instructions. First of all, hearing the pastimes of the Lord, activities of the Lord, instructions of the Lord, like in Bhagavad Gita we have instructions, and Srimad Bhagavatam we have pastimes of the Lord. So hearing about those sincerely, attentively, and then chanting about these instructions and activities. Maybe basically let's basically talking about those or speaking about those, glorifying about the activities and instructions of the Lord. Always remembering these activities and instructions. It's not that I've heard in the class or I've heard the Bhagavad Gita class and I forgot. No, remembering these and trying to apply in the practical life, day-to-day life. That's also under one of the duties which everybody has. Trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances to the devotees, offering obeisances to the Lord, becoming a servant, very, very difficult in this age. Little bit little bit, anything, a little thing happens, there's a quarrel, big quarrel, which springs up out of that small thing. Becoming a servant is very, very difficult in this age. So much of false ego is driving this. Becoming a friend to all the living entities. Surrendering one's whole self, very, very high thing actually. It's the last one. It'll come later, not we cannot do now. Surrendering one's whole existence onto the service of the Supreme Lord. You're noting down everything? Maybe you can take a pic if you want, or somebody can share on the group if somebody has taken. In the group, right? Festival of yeah. Celibacy, charity. So these are the 30 duties everybody has to perform. At least most of it. What is celibacy? Celibacy means if one is not married, not losing semen. That is celibacy. If one is married, living according to the scriptures and only having sex to produce children, that's also celibacy. In married life also, celibacy also is included in married life. How? If one just has sex, if the two partners have sex, just to produce children or beget children, or that's also celibacy. Or that's also according to the Vedic ritual, Vedic scriptures. Then it is celibacy. If one is just having sex to enjoy, to exploit the other partner to get some enjoyment on both the sides, I'm talking about, and that's not celibacy, even in the married life. So celibacy also is considered in married life as well. If one only is considering sex or for the begetting children, for producing children, that's it. And that too, producing children to to raise them in Krishna consciousness, to raise them in spirituality, the spiritual setup. So that's celibacy. If the goal is that spiritual goal. Okay, so these are the 30 duties. Now, after discussing about these aspects of Vedic culture, what are those? First is no sinful life. Second, Varnashrama has to be followed. Third is 30 duties have to be followed. If these are followed, then okay, one can be called under the Vedic umbrella. Oh, this person is under the Vedic realm or Vedic umbrella. Now let's discuss about understanding all these things, Vedic culture, the 5 Purusharthas we discussed, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and Krishna Prema. And then what are the different destinations one gets. After understanding all these things, let's discuss about who is part of the yoga ladder. Actually, who can be called a yogi? Yogi. When we say when we take this word yogi, who can be called a yogi? There are some qualifications required for that. And why we discuss all these, because these background things will come here now. Okay, and even in the later slides. Who can be called a yogi or who is part of yoga ladder? One who follows, you can note it down, one who follows the Varnashrama duties. If he follows Varnashrama dharma, by the way, we talked about Varna, right? Varnas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, like the scientific categorization of the society. There's something called ashramas also, I forgot to discuss. Ashramas are, we discussed in the last session. Last to last session is also. Ashram, Brahmachari, then Grihastha, Vanprastha and Sannyas. So Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanprastha and Sannyas. We discussed about 2 paths also. That always one has to become a Brahmachari in the starting. In the Vedic culture, it used to be like 25 years of age in the Gurukul for a boy. And then the girls used to be trained in the house in terms of both spiritual life and material life both. And then after Brahmachari, there is a choice whether to get married and enter into Grihastha ashram or to remain Brahmachari lifelong and enter directly into Sannyas ashram. But a Grihastha also can be a sannyasi. It's a different part. 2 parts are there after Brahmachari. A Brahmachari can become a Grihastha. For next few set of years, he can lead a householder life according to the Vedic culture, Vedic scriptures. After that, he becomes Vanprasthi. Basically he reduces his responsibilities, and then finally gives up all the responsibility and becomes a sannyasi. So that's how there is one path. And otherwise, Brahmachari continue to remain Brahmachari and finally sannyasi. Okay, so those are 4 ashramas. So together, Varna and Ashramas, it's called Varnashrama system or Varnashrama Dharma. Now, one who follows the Varnashrama duties and one who follows these 30 duties which we discussed about and whose goal is to attain the Supreme Lord, the eternal service of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, that he is called a yogi, whose goal is to attain the Lord. And who is following Varnashrama Dharma, the 30 duties, and goal is to attain the Supreme Lord. Goal is also very important. Then he's called a yogi. Otherwise, not a god, he's not called a yogi. Understood? Very clear, simple. That's why we discuss about Varnashrama and 30 duties. Otherwise, you'll not. If I directly come to this part that what who is a yogi, then if I say Varnashrama duties 30, then what is 30 duties? What is Varnashrama? That's why we discuss about all this. That was the background. Okay. So this is the qualification of a yogi. He can be into the yoga ladder. Others are not. Now let's discuss about the actual topic for today, which is the yoga systems. But before that, there is something called karma kanda. There's something called yoga, and we have so many yoga systems. There's something called karma kanda, which is out of the yoga ladder actually. So karma kand, or a person who is following the karma kand, he's called karma kandi or a karmi in one sense. Okay, who is a karma kandi or who is a karmi? Now, these are the qualifications of a karma kandi or a karmi. He acts according to the scriptures, right? He's acting according to the scriptures. Second, he's looking for one's own sense gratification. Why people perform karma kand? Because they want to get good wife, they want to get good house, they want to get married to a good partner, they want to get a good job, all those things. A happy life, a pious life. People who want to lead a pious life and remain in this material world happily, they perform karma kand. One time my mother went to a astrologer recently. So I always condemn that don't go, or I will not go if he asks me. But she went. I was there in Bangalore. She went. She asked that astrologer, to that astrologer so many of her relatives go. So they visit. So she asked about my marriage, my other things also. So he discussed about all these things, and he told actually that one danger is awaiting. He told, does your child have some vehicle? So I was told yes. In Bangalore, he has a two-wheeler. So he told that soon blood will be shed, and there'll be so many wounds on the body. And then my mother was in tension, complete tension that day. And she called me actually after that astrologer. She told, that astrologer told me like this, that he told that drive carefully. Otherwise the danger is awaiting. There will be so many wounds on the body, blood will come out. So then he also actually tells some upaya, some workarounds. Actually, karma cannot be cut. Only Supreme Lord can cut the karma. Only what max to max all these upayas and karma kand can do is they can postpone the karma. Whatever is going to happen will happen. But one can postpone the karma, or cut and paste can happen. Cut and paste. But one cannot edit. Editing of karma, not edit, cutting of karma is not possible. Like completely the karma is gone, the reaction will not come at all. It's not possible. If Supreme Lord decides, then it can happen. Otherwise, in the hands of all these karma kandis and all these astrologers, there's nothing is in their hands actually. So people go and they become fools in simple ways. So he told that tell your son to take out some blood by his own, either have a blood test, some blood will come out, so this thing will not happen, or go and donate some blood, so it will not happen. So like that, she was telling so these are all part of karma kanda. Some upayas, some rituals they are performing according to the scriptures, obviously. Nowadays karma kanda is also not there because people don't know the different Vedic rituals. They are all acting whimsically. So, karmakandis or the karmis, They want to remain happily in this material world. They don't want to become or suffer in this material world. So they want to get out of all the problems and remain happily in this material world. And they are looking for their own sense gratification. Good house, good wife, good children, happy married life, all these things. Obviously, this is needed, that's important. But only focusing on this, not focusing on the spiritual goal, only on the material platform. That's karmi or karma kandi. You understood this?
Yes.
But he acts according to the scriptures, that is amazing. He doesn't act against the scriptures. According to the scriptures, he will act, but for his own personal benefit. That's it. And no desire to make any spiritual advancement. Spiritual, if you go and tell a karma kandi or a karmi that spiritual life is also there. If you just focus on material life, what will happen to spiritual life? What will happen after death? Please try to focus on this. Spiritual perfection is very, very important. So he will not be interested in that. So that's karma kandi or a karmi. Now, after discussing about karma kand or a karmi, now we'll actually enter into yoga systems or the yoga ladder. Now we'll talk about the yogis. This was karmi, which is a materialist. He doesn't have any goal of spiritual perfection. But now when it comes to yogi, the yogi has a spiritual goal. We discussed right here that what is the qualification of a yogi? Goal is to attain the supreme knowledge. So spiritual goal is there. So that's yogi. Okay, from materialist now we are moving to yogi. Now we are actually discussing about different yoga systems, different types of yogis. First is karma yoga. Karma yogi we'll discuss about. It's very technical. Please try to note it down if you can. So now what is karma yoga? The qualifications of a karma yogi is, who is acting under karma yoga is, one who follows varnashrama duties and 30 common duties. Okay, that's the first qualification. Varnashrama is must for performing karma yoga, and 30 common duties which we discussed about, that is must. But in these 30 common duties and varnashrama, one is giving more time to varnashrama, or one is more focused to varnashrama or doing his prescribed duties. Right? That if I'm a brahmana, so I should work very, very nicely as a brahmana. I should do my varnashrama duties very, very nicely. If I'm into brahmachari ashram, so I should render those or perform those prescribed duties very, very nicely. So he's giving more focus on the varnashrama duties rather than the 30 duties. But he's doing also. He's doing not much focus. Understood? Focus is on varnashrama duties rather than 30 duties. But he's doing not with much focus. But his goal is there, because see, we are discussing about yogi, right? So goal is to attain the supreme lord. And minimum expected outcome. So that the highest goal is to attain the supreme lord, but the minimum expected outcome is purification of heart. मन का शुद्धिकरण हो जाना चाहिए. बहुत लोग ऐसे मिलेंगे, भक्ति तो मन में है. मन शुद्ध होना चाहिए, right? The heart should be pure. So I want to just get rid of all these bad qualities of lust, anger, greed, all these things. The 6 qualities which trouble us: envy, jealousy, all these things. So one wants to just purify his heart, at least minimum, the least minimum. So this is a karma yogi. Now, a karma yogi who's acting under this platform, he can actually degrade himself and become a materialist or a karmi. He can actually fall down from the karma yoga platform to karmis, performing these varnashrama duties. If one gets deviated and one just focuses on getting the results out of those duties and enjoying for his own life, in his own life, also in his own sense gratification. If he just focuses on his own sense gratification, satisfying his own body, satisfying his own mind by acting according to the varnashrama dharma, then he's deviated from the goal, right? And he becomes a karmi. Because what was the qualification of karmi? He just wants to do his own sense gratification. So then he becomes a karmi. Then the goal is not there. The goal to attain spiritual perfection is not there in the picture now. Just he wants his own satisfaction. So he falls down from the karma yogi platform to karmi or the karmakandi. Right? Understood? Very clear, right? Now that's karma yoga. Please remember these things, these qualifications. Now let's go on or move on to jnana yoga or jnana yoga. We say. First of all, let's discuss about the pre-qualification of entering into jnana yoga. To to enter into jnana yoga, one has to give up varnashrama dharma actually. There's no more varnashrama dharma duties you'll be following. And one has to take sannyas. Sannyas is mandatory in jnana yoga. Then only he can actually come under the platform of jnana yogi. Or he can enter and try to practice jnana yoga. So give up the varnashrama duties and take sannyas. And only focus on 30 common duties. Right? You understood now? No, there's no varnashrama in the picture now. Varnashrama duties are given up. You will be like, okay, there's no performing varnashrama duties. But I'll be just focusing on the 30 duties from Srimad Bhagavatam. And by the way, out of those 30 duties, there are two divisions. 21 plus 9. The 21 duties out of 30 are called jnana dharma or jnana duties. Jnana duties. And the rest of 9 are bhakti activities or bhakti duties. We can say. What are those 21? So we were just focusing on the 21. Now see, he's performing 30 activities, but in that also he's focusing more on 21 duties. Those are jnana duties. That's why it's called jnana yogi. Right? So what are those 31 duties? Let's again go back. Out of those 30, what are those 21 duties? The jnana duties. Those are truthfulness, mercy, austerity, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, reading of scriptures, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to the saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing futility of unnecessary activities of human life, remaining silent and grave, and avoiding unnecessary talk, considering whether one is body or soul, distributing food equally to all the living entities, men and animals, seeing every soul as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. These are the 21 Jnana duties. One will just focus on these 21 duties in the Jnana Yoga. So Varnashrama is here given up already, but in these 30 duties, he'll just focus more on 21. He'll perform other 9 also, all the 30, but more focus is on 21. Okay, that's why it's called Jnana Yoga. And his least or minimum expected outcome of Jnana Yoga is liberation. Liberation out of this material world. I just want to get out of this material world. Liberation. That will be the least minimum expected outcome. That's the least one. But highest one, he doesn't know. So he wants to attain even more higher platforms, but the minimum one is liberation. Not more, not less than that. So that's Jnana Yoga. Purification of our heart has already happened. That was Karma Yoga, least minimum outcome. But for a Jnana Yogi, little more higher. The least minimum outcome is liberation. And higher than that also he'll aspire, slowly. But minimum is liberation from this material world. You understood now? All the different activities which he is performing and the least minimum outcome or expected outcome. And he aspires for higher realization also. That's why he's yogi. Okay. Now a jnana yogi also can fall down from jnana yoga platform to jnani. There's something called jnani also. Like karmi or karmakandi, there is another category of people called jnani. So we'll discuss about these two things, these two set of people, jnana yogi and jnani. A jnani is, he gets deviated from the jnana yoga and he stops aspiring for higher realizations. He just stuck at liberation. I just want to get liberation. That's it. Nothing else. Forget about the higher realizations. I just want to focus on liberation now. That's it. If he's stuck on the platform of liberation or moksha, he's jnani. He doesn't aspire for even more higher realization. Basically, he's just stuck on the least minimum expected outcome, that is liberation. So then he becomes a Jnani. Jnani Yogi becomes a Jnani actually. He falls down. You understood now? How a Jnani Yogi falls down? You want Uttari? Uttari? It's in my bag. Okay? And a Jnani Yogi advances even more higher. From liberation also, he even more higher he advances. That's Jnani Yogi, towards the ultimate goal of life, towards the supreme God. Are you understanding or not? A Jnani Yogi, see, a Jnani Yogi has a higher aspiration also, higher than liberation. Liberation is the minimum one. But if he is stuck on the minimum one, that is liberation, he becomes a Jnani. A Jnani Yogi becomes a Jnani. Okay? But a Jnani Yogi advances higher and higher, even after liberation. Okay? Liberation. No. Jnani Yogi's minimum is liberation. Now, when we talk about liberation, actually, in terms of Jnani Yogi, that's Brahma Jyoti.
No, the difference between Nani and Nani. So, studied moksha, liberation is Nani. Nani Yogi more towards that.
Yes.
So then
He has higher aspirations also.
More is it is what we are saying is Krishna plane.
He doesn't know about it, but he has higher aspirations. He has no clear picture that after liberation, what's next. You know, but he has higher aspirations. See, he may not be clear about the higher realizations, but he wants to even at least he wants to advance more, like that. But he may not be clear about the highest realization, which is there. You understood now?
Yes.
Yeah. He may not be clear, but he has higher aspiration. Aspiration is there. But if he's stuck at the liberation platform, he's a Jnani. He's no more Jnani Yogi. Now let's discuss about Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Right? Let's discuss from Bhagavad Gita. All this on Bhagavad Gita only, or Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a verse, actually, specific verse. The dedicated chapter Dhyana Yoga in Bhagavad Gita is 6th chapter. So this verse was 3rd from 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karana Muchyate Yoga Rudhasya Tasyaiva Samaha Karana Muchyate. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, why it's called eightfold? Because there are 8 stages in the Dhyana Yoga also. In the Ashtanga Yoga, why it's called Ashta Anga? It's 8. Ashta Anga Yoga, right? Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga in one sense. So, one who is neophyte means a beginner, doesn't know much in this Dhyana Yoga system or Ashtanga Yoga. Work is said to be the means, and for the neophyte who doesn't know about Ashtanga Yoga, the work is the means. But for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all the material activities is said to be the means. So basically, for a Dhyana Yogi, he has to stop performing all the activities. He also has to take sannyas. So, for the pre-qualification of Dhyana Yoga, to perform Dhyana Yoga, again is taking sannyas. You understood? Without taking sannyas or without stopping the material activities, one cannot perform Dhyana Yoga. It's not possible. It's not possible that one is still doing material activities and he has not taken sannyas and he is performing Dhyana Yoga. It's not possible. Or Ashtanga Yoga. Right? And the 8 stages of these. Yama, Niyama, it starts with Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, and finally Samadhi. Right? These are the 8 stages of Ashtanga Yoga from Bhagavad Gita. So Yam and Niyam means do's and don'ts. Do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. Prohibitions and regulations. Do's and don'ts. Asana and Pranayama means by asanas and pranayams, one controls the body and the mind. Pratyahar means actually separating the body from, or separating the senses from the sense objects, or ceasing one's senses to be influenced by the sense objects. For example, what is a sense object for eyes? Beautiful objects. Eyes want to see something beautiful, so that's sense object. A beautiful flower or a beautiful picture, the opposite gender. So those are the sense objects for the eyes. Senses are eyes, and they are sense objects for these senses. For the ears, what is a sense object? a nice sound, nice music, sweet words of the children or whoever. So these are the sense or what to say sense object for uh, the sense called ear, like that. So we have sense objects and the senses, corresponding senses and sense objects. So a dhyan yogi actually, when he progresses more, when he comes to the stage of pratyahar, so he actually controls his senses finally, and he finds out or he realizes that I want to control my senses. My senses should not get influenced by the sense objects. The ear should not get influenced by the beautiful sound or the attractive sound. The eye should not get influenced by the beautiful things in this material world. Right? Separating the senses and the sense objects. That's pratyahara. When we talk about dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, these are few higher stages of meditation on the super soul, the Paramatma feature of the Lord within the heart. Paramatma is sitting within the heart. From Bhagavad Gita, we see the shloka. Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hridadeshe arjuna tishtati. So Ishvara is sitting within the heart as Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells. So the yogi, the dhyani yogi, actually finally, when he progresses even more higher, he finally starts to meditate on the super soul within the heart, and he realizes the super soul. He's able to see the form of the Lord within the heart, and finally, he's in samadhi, just meditating on the super soul. Right? That's dhyan yoga. You understood, right? Now let me ask you this question. After going through all these three, discussing about these three yoga systems, what is the first one? Karma yoga. Second one? Jnana yoga. Third one? Ashtanga or Dhyana yoga. What was the pre-qualification of Karma yoga? Or qualification of Karma yoga? Varnashrama system and 30 common duties. The 30 common duties are there in every system, but Varnashrama was there at least in Karma yoga. In Dhyana yoga and in Ashtanga, in Jnana yoga, the Varnashrama was given up. Sannyas was there. Okay, so in Karma yoga, let's say Karma yoga. So there was Varnashrama and the 30 duties, right, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. If you talk about this, do you think, is it possible in Kali Yuga? First of all, let's discuss about the Varnashrama. Forget about 30 duties. Bathing twice a day. Tolerance. Celibacy. Are these possible? I mean, very difficult. Seeing everybody as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Everybody seeing as enemy. Others. So, 30 duties, forget about it. But let's talk about the Varnashrama. Is it possible to follow Varnashrama in Kali Yuga perfectly? Is it possible? What do you think? Yes or no? No. Can you tell me a logical reason about it? The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanprastha, Sannyas. Can you tell me a logical reason? Okay, I'll give you a hint. So, what is the work of a or qualities or qualification of a Shudra? To give service to other three categories of people: Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas. Now, do you think that the Brahmanas exist these days? Do you think Kshatriyas exist these days? Do you think that Vaishyas exist these days? Cow production. Where is cow production happening? Where is farming properly happening? Okay, farming is happening, but cow production not happening to a great scale. Brahmanas. Very few Brahmanas are left. That too, purity is lost. Kshatriyas. When there is battle, they run away. So there are no three higher classes only. How can Shudras exist? Because Shudras will give service to others. Other three classes are only not there. Then Shudras also not there. Actually, Shudras are there. Even people are below the level of Shudras. Right? Meat eating is going on. So meat eating is going on. So many things are going on. So it's not possible. It's not possible to follow Varnashrama system in the age of Kali. So it's not possible to follow Varnashrama system in the age of Kali. So where is the question of Karma Yoga? The pre-qualification of Karma Yoga is Varnashrama Dharma. And if we are not able to follow Varnashrama Dharma only, then forget about Karma Yoga. It's not possible. And let's come to Jnana Yoga. What was the qualification of Jnana Yoga? Okay, first take sannyas. Give up Varnashrama Dharma. That's out of the picture. Second is 30 common duties. First of all, if Varnashrama Dharma one has not followed, what is the question of giving up? Right? There's no question of giving up. If one is performing Varnashrama Dharma, after performing, one can give up. Right? So that first thing is there. First aspect. Second aspect is 30 common duties. How much we are following now? It's not into the picture right now. So that's why performing Jnana Yoga is also very difficult. And also in Jnana Yoga, reading of scriptures and thorough reciting of the shlokas, understanding the meaning of the shlokas, and then memorizing the shlokas, and then understanding and memorizing all the scriptures, getting the conclusion of the scriptures, speculating or mental speculation or speculating on the scriptures, on the wording of the scriptures. That one cannot do actually. Memorization power is low. A person has many people ask, what was your name? Name only we forget actually. Our friends' names, colleagues' names. Forget about memorizing the shlokas and understanding the meaning of the shlokas and going deep into those the scriptures. That's out of the picture. So where is the question of Jnana Yoga? When we talk about Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, controlling the senses, very difficult. When Chole Bhature comes in front of us, you know what happens. When soya chap comes in front of us, you know what happens. Malai chap. And then I don't know. I can take so many dishes. Chole bhature is my favorite also. So Dhyana Yoga is also not possible. And meditating on the super soul. What is the question of super soul? First of all, yama and niyama, do's and don'ts, and then controlling the senses. Very difficult these days. Very difficult. Controlling the mind. People struggle. So Dhyana Yoga is very difficult. Although see, one can try. It's very difficult to perform. Again, another aspect is there is no Varnashrama Dharma only in Kali Yoga. So all the three are out of the picture in the first hand itself. Forget about the 30 duties, the further 30 duties, or these 8 aspects of Dhyana Yoga. These will come into picture later. Varnashrama Dharma is also not in the picture. So the first step is also not there in the picture. And then sannyas comes later, and then these things. So these 3 yoga systems are very difficult or out of the picture actually in the Kali Yoga. Now when we talk about Bhakti Yoga, something is so amazing here. Let's see from the Bhagavad Gita. Is the last topic for today. So let's recite the shloka, beautiful shloka from Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9.26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyopadhitam ashnami prayatatmanah. So can anyone read the translation loudly?
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
This is Bhakti Yoga. What one has to do? Simply, with love and devotion, offer a flower to the Lord. Offer a leaf to the Lord, tulsi leaf. Offer a fruit, simple fruit to the Lord. We can get fruit from a tree also. One cannot be rich to perform Bhakti Yoga. Even the poorest of the poorest of the poor person can also perform Bhakti Yoga like this. So many jackfruits were hanging from a tree. Nobody was taking it. I was thinking, let me take and give it in the kitchen. It will be offered to the Lord. It's just falling down and getting wasted. So Bhakti Yoga is very simple. A flower one can pluck from a tree and offer to the Lord. That's Bhakti Yoga with love and devotion. No tax is required. No money is required. Just love and devotion is required. That's it. And simplicity of heart is required. Simple. A little water one can offer. And what the Lord is saying, I accept it. I will accept it if you offer with love and devotion. These 4 few simple things. So Bhakti Yoga is all about doing things for the satisfaction of the Lord. Whatever we are doing, just doing for the satisfaction of the Lord, not for my own satisfaction. If Lord is satisfied, I will be satisfied. It's like putting the water on the root of a tree. And this is very evident actually. If we perform Bhakti Yoga, if we render service to the Lord, He's like the root of the tree. he's like the root of the plant. When the root is getting the water, the whole plant, all the parts of the plant will be nourished. Or it's like putting the food in the stomach, the center part of the body, then the whole body will be nourished. If you just give food to the hands separately, legs separately, it's not possible. The hands and legs will not be nourished. So when we nourish, or sorry, not nourish, when we serve the Supreme Lord, the Lord will give us the nourishment. That's Bhakti Yoga. And that's why you see devotees are so nice, so blissful, so happy. Why? Because they are rendering service to the Lord internally. They're getting bliss. Because the Lord is giving the bliss from within. It's very simple. Offering these few simple things will Lord benefit. One more shloka. Macchitta madgata prana.
Macchitta madgata prana.
Bodhayantah parasparam.
Bodhayantah parasparam.
Kathayantascha mam nityam.
Kathayantascha mam nityam.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
So whatever I have said in the previous shloka, that little explanation that if we serve the Lord, we'll also be satisfied completely. There's a proof in the Bhagavad Gita. I'm not telling by my own. Bhagavad Gita is telling, Krishna is telling. What is telling? The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, and their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. When they are rendering service to me, O Arjuna, and when they are discussing about my activities, my pastime, my leelas, oh, they are always satisfied and they are always in bliss. Like that. That's why the pure devotees are always in bliss. They're always blissful and in ananda. That's Bhakti Yoga. So when they give water to the root, the whole plant is nourished. That's Bhakti Yoga. Basically, when we render service to the Lord, we also get satisfaction. We also get nourished, and a person becomes blissful. That's why devotees are so happy always. Doesn't matter when whether one loses job or a health issue comes. Doesn't matter. Something happens in the family. They're always blissful. They're always happy, satisfied. Obviously, they'll do whatever is required. The duties which are to be performed, but it will not be disturbed too much. The more one advances in Krishna consciousness, to that degree one will become less influenced by all the material qualities or influences, the modes of material nature. And when the bliss will increase day by day, Anandambudi Vardhanam, step by step the bliss will increase. And finally, Prahlad Maharaj says, let's recite the shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes, 7th canto. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishno, Bhaktischena Navalakshana, Kriyate Bhagavat Adha Navalakshana. So Bhaktish Chena Navalakshana means there are 9 symptoms. Lakshan. 9 symptoms of bhakti or 9 activities in bhakti or bhakti yoga. What are those 9 activities? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam means together. Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam means, so the translation is here, it's from 7th canto. Shravanam means hearing about the Lord. Kirtanam means chanting about the Lord, about Lord's pastimes, about Lord's beauty, about Lord's paraphernalia, his qualities, his names, chanting the names of the Lord. But the mantra meditation which you do, that also comes under chanting. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Then Vishnu Smaranam, remembering about the Lord, remembering his qualities, remembering his pastimes, leelas, and remembering the instructions of the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. But that's also Vishnu Smaranam. Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam means serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Pada means lotus feet. Sevanam means serving. Serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Then, and remembering them. And then, Archanam. Archanam means worshipping the Lord. Vandanam means offering, sorry, offering prayers to the Lord. Offering prayers to the Lord. There are so many standard prayers in the Bhagavatam. Kunti Maharani's prayers, Gajendra's prayers, Uddhava's prayers when he is going to Vrindavan. Then so many other devotees. Bhishma Stuti, Bhishma Dev's prayers to the Lord Krishna. So many standard prayers. Brahma Samhita, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. And there's so many shlokas like that. So we can offer these prayers, standard prayers of pure devotees to the Lord. The Lord will be pleased. We can offer our own prayers also, our practical prayers. Oh Lord, I am stuck into lust. I am stuck with lust, I am stuck with greed, I am stuck with anger. Please help me, O Lord. That's also Vandana. Vandana. Then Dasyam. Dasyam means becoming a servant of the Lord, servant of the devotees also. Sakhyam, becoming a friend with the Lord. It's a very, very high stage, obviously. We cannot imitate, or we cannot just artificially do this. Sakhyam, becoming a friend of the Lord. We cannot do that. Just pure devotees can do. But at least Shravanam, Kirtanam, remembering Vishnu's Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, serving the lotus feet of these things we can do. Vandanam, offering prayers to the Lord, Archanam, worshipping the Lord. Now we'll do deity worship, servant and serving the Lord and the devotees of the Lord. We can do all these things. Because Sakhyam and Atmanivedanam, completely surrendering one's whole existence for the Lord and the devotees. But that's also very, very. At least we can focus on others, other things, other activities in bhakti. Other higher stages will come later. Will come by their own record when the Lord wishes. When we please the Lord. When Lord is pleased, He will shower the mercy, and we'll get higher realization. And Sakhyam will also come. Atmanivedam will also come one day. But at least now we can do all these practical things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing, chanting, remembering some instructions, something from the class. That's also Smaranam. Offering prayers, service we can do here. Serving others, serving the devotees. Prasadam serving. So all these service, book distribution. So iti pumsarpata Vishnu, when one offers this to the Lord, then these are 9 angas of devotional service, 9 lakshanas of bhakti. So what happens? What happens? When actually the Lord becomes pleased, and the devotee is also pleased. He becomes purified and also completely satisfied. And these are the 9 methods or 9 symptoms of a most learned person who has attained complete knowledge. So Bhakti Yoga is just performed with love towards the Lord. And it contains these 9 aspects, Navalakshanam, 9 aspects of Bhakti, which are blissfully done at every stage. See, even if we are beginners, we can do these 9 activities, or at least few of these. Even in a day-to-day life, we can chant, we can do mantra meditation, we can sing in the kirtan, we can dance for the pleasure of the Lord. We can offer some flowers to the Lord. The 9, if you talk about the 9 angas, Shravanam, we can do hearing from Bhagavad Gita, hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is also hearing. And then chanting, as we discussed already. So these 9 angas we can perform actually. Offering obeisances to the Lord, Dasyam, serving the Lord, serving the deities, serving the devotees. So we can do, a beginner can do, or an advanced pure devotee can also do. Everybody can do. And at every stage it's blissful. At every stage it's blissful. When we just dance in the kirtan, it's so blissful. When we sing blissfully, it's so nice. When we chant, if we are able to hear the holy names a little bit also, it gives so much of pleasure, so much of bliss. And when we eat prasadam, nice delicious items offered to the Lord, when we accept as prasadam, it's so nice. So these things we can do. Everybody can do. Even a beginner can do. Even a pure devotee can do. Advanced devotee. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is always blissful at every step. Always blissful. Right? And also Bhakti Yoga is like a is like a lift. And other yoga systems are like staircase. Very, very difficult to control the senses and then read the scriptures and understand the meaning and get the conclusion, mental speculate, discuss from the scriptures. Then Jnana Yoga, right? Karma Yoga means what ashrama duties if one fails to do, he will not be able to perfect. and Varnashramite system is not there now. So all these things. So it's like a staircase. Other yoga systems very very difficult in Kali Yuga especially. Staircase. One may attain also, but it's like a staircase. Many lifetimes may need to perfect, or to attain the highest goal. One may attain obviously. Many lifetimes will take. It's like a staircase. Slowly. धीरे धीरे गाड़ी चलेगी. But Bhakti Yoga is like a lift. You just press one button, 100th floor. Few minutes you will just reach the 100th floor. Burj Khalifa. My manager went recently. I was asking, what is so special about Burj Khalifa? His daughter was urging, I want to go to Burj Khalifa. I said, nothing special. She was just urging, I went. And then daughter wanted to go. Nothing special, just a tall building, and then it feels good when you look down. That's it. Nothing else. So, but to go higher and higher, we cannot we cannot use staircases, right? Otherwise, lifetime will be spent just to reach the highest floor of Burj Khalifa. So, similar to that, the highest goal is very very high. It's not cheap. The highest perfection of life, to attain the Supreme Lord, the service of the Supreme Lord. To attain that, Bhakti Yoga is like a lift, and very easily, blissfully at every step, one can attain the highest goal also. But other yoga systems, one can attain, obviously, there's no doubt, but very, very difficult, like a staircase. Now one has to choose wisely which yoga system one has to follow. So that's it. So this is one. This was the analysis which we did in the yoga systems. That very very difficult to perform these other yoga systems in Kali Yoga especially. And although if one performs, one can try, then it becomes very difficult because it's like a staircase. Many lifetimes it may take to perfect. But Bhakti Yoga is like a lift. So press one button at every step, it will be blissful, and finally also it will be blissful. And very easily one will be able to attain the highest perfection. So what is Krishna's choice of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita? So Krishna says, this is the last sloka of today. We'll end. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. What Krishna is saying? Of all the yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders loving devotional service. Loving service, transcendental means spiritual. Transcendental loving service to me always. He is the most intimately united with me, united with yoga. Basically, he's the best of the yogis. Krishna is saying. So what is this? Bhakti yoga. Who is always rendering service to me with love and devotion, loving service. And then Bhajate Yomam Shraddhavan, with great faith and determination. Always, he never deviates. One pointed focus. And then he always thinks of me. And always renders pure devotion service to me. Without thinking of his own self. Just rendering pure devotion service. Just for the satisfaction of me, myself. Means the Lord is saying. He is most intimately united with me. He's the best of the yogis, basically. He is the highest of all. Krishna is saying. Yoginam api sarvesham. He's the highest of all. And that is my opinion, the Lord is saying. It's not my opinion, it's Lord's opinion. My opinion. Same yukta tamo mataha. Means this is my mat, my opinion. O Arjuna. He is the highest of all yogis. You understand? So that's why the Lord is also expecting that if one performs bhakti yoga with loving devotional service, he will attain the Supreme Lord very, very easily. Very easily. He is the highest of all yogis. Lord recommends bhakti yoga in the Bhagavad Gita also. And also there are some other shlokas, where Lord talks about bhakti yoga and some other aspects of bhakti yoga. There's one shloka from 9th chapter, verse number 34. It's not in the slide, I'll just recite. Manmana bhava mad bhakto. Krishna is saying. Manmana bhava mad bhakto. He's saying, become my devotee. Bhava mad bhakto. Bhava means become mad bhakto, my devotee. Manmana means engage your mind within me and become my devotee. Manmana bhava mad bhakto. See, it's coming, right? This word is coming. Mad bhakto. So bhakti yoga. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Offer obeisances to me. Mam evashyasi yuktvaivam. Atmanam mata parayana. Sorry. So being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come back to me, O Arjuna. And one more sloka which is similar to that. It is from 18th chapter, verse number 65. Again, same line. First line is same. Manmana. See, Krishna is repeating this. It means whenever something is repeated in the scriptures, it's of very, very high importance. Again, the Lord is saying in the 18th chapter. Previous was from 9th chapter. Same, first line is same. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. And the second line of that shloka is, just 1 minute. I just something. Mamevashyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. So he's saying, always think of me, manmana, in your mind, and bhava mad bhakto means become my devotee and offer obeisances to me. Mam namaskuru. Thus you will come back to me without fear. Guarantee the Lord is giving. You will come back to me without fear. Mam evashyasi satyam te, without fear. There's a truth. Satyam te, reality. And I promise you, because you are a devotee. Pratijani priyosi me, you are very, very priya. You are a pure devotee, you are very dear to my heart, Arjuna. That's why I'm saying you will come back to me when you become my devotee. But bhava mad bhakto. See, so bhakti yoga. So Bhagavad Gita is filled with so many recommendations of bhakti yoga. The Lord is saying again and again in the 9th chapter, in the 6th chapter, in the 18th chapter, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita also, what do we need? What else proof we need? Right? And then finally the Lord is saying, this is the last shloka, we'll end. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Abandon or leave all kinds of varieties of religions. Just surrender unto me. Just by surrendering unto me, O Lord, O Arjuna, aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will take care of you, and I will take care of all your sins. I will just free you up from all the sinful reactions. And mokshashyami mashuchah. Mokshashyami means I will give you liberation. Mashuchah, O Arjuna, don't fear. Just surrender unto me. Just by surrendering, you will attain me. All your sinful reactions will go away. You will become free from this material world. You will attain liberation also, and you will be all blissful. You will come back to me, Arjuna. Just surrender to me. Nothing you have to do. Surrender to me. Obviously, surrender is not easy. There are some 6 symptoms of surrender. I'll not go into detail about that. But surrender is another topic, very, very vast topic from the scriptures. So we'll not discuss about that. One day we'll discuss. But at least when we try to follow sincerely the instruction of the Lord, surely without fail the Lord is saying, I promise you, Arjuna, that you will come back to me. So Bhakti Yoga is being recommended all over Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, 9th chapter, 18th chapter, and some other places also. Few shlokas we saw today. Okay, so we'll stop here. That's why when we are sincere and we try our best to perform devotional service just to please the Lord, try our best. It will be difficult, but try our best. So at least it's easy compared to other yoga systems. With love and devotion, in the association of the devotees, it becomes easy. By the way, when we are associated with devotees, it becomes easy to chant, to hear, to get inspired, to render service, to sing and to dance with other devotees in the kirtan becomes easy. So association is very important, and surely we'll attain perfection through Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so we'll stop here. I think the time is high because we started at 6, not even 6, a little higher than 6, as I said. So we'll stop here. Any questions? Any 1-2 questions we can take with that. Other question we'll take during the prasadam. After that.
Could you please tell more on the
Paraphernalia. Oh, in the shloka you were saying, the translation.
Like normally is us like telling the when in the shloka somewhere we are so basically form what it is not, and then paraphernalia basically.
Okay, you're asking about this, no?
16 types.
Worshipping the Lord or offering the Lord respectful worship, respectfully worshipping the Lord with the 16 types of paraphernalia. So basically, in the deity worship, it's about deity worship actually. So when we do deity worship, there are some paraphernalia which we offer to the Lord. Like we have incense sticks, and there's a vidhi to do deity worship. Now we will be seeing Raghunath will be doing. So incense sticks, then we have ghee lamp offering to the Lord, right? Then we have, today we'll not be doing that. We have water conch which is filled with the water. It's called arghya, offering to the Lord. And then offering to the devotees, showering the water on the devotees, like that. We're basically accepting the prasad. And finally, after that, there will be offering cloth to the Lord. And then we have offering flowers to the Lord. And then again, the devotees will smell those flowers basically as a prasad. And after that, finally, offering chamar and peacock feather to the Lord. Right? So these are the paraphernalia. So there are 16 kinds of paraphernalia. Obviously, it's not elaborate deity worship, but at least we do here. So there are other paraphernalias also which I also don't know. We will also get to know about that. So that's about deity worship mainly. That's what this shloka is talking about. Worshipping means mainly deity worship. Also, worship also means reading Bhagavad Gita. Worshipping the Lord by reading the scriptures. That's also worship. Because many people, when you go out for Buddhist, will say, "I have eaten non-veg. I'm not clean now. I'm going through periods. I have, I've not taken bath today." So we tell, "Okay, that's good. My room is not clean. It's all messed up." So we say, "Okay, no problem. That's good. You are showing respect to Bhagavad Gita, but at least take it. From today, you can become clean. Today, actually, it's an opportunity. Or at least, okay, try to have some little space in your cupboard and keep it there. But the best worship of Bhagavad Gita is to read it, to implement it in life. That's the best worship of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Obviously, the rules and regulations we have to follow, being clean, all these other things, rules and regulations. But people get so much attached to rules and regulations, they will not follow that also. But when it comes to taking Bhagavad Gita, all the rules and regulations will come. In fact, the mind will be filled with rules and regulations. But in ordinary day-to-day life, they're not even following those rules, not taking bath. But when we say take Bhagavad Gita, oh, I didn't take bath, I cannot take Bhagavad Gita. It's important to take bath. But why you didn't take bath today if it is important to take bath? Right? You're not following the rules which you are telling. So that's also one worship. But this is talking about the deity worship. Okay. Any other question? Last question. We'll have quick arti. Anyone last question? One more? Okay. Maybe other yeah. One more person can ask.
We had 4 systems of yoga.
So 4 systems of yoga. Okay.
And the recommended one is the last one, Bhakti Yoga, which